On arrival at the Axminster spinning mill on the southern edge of Dartmoor, the raw wool is sorted according to fibre length and colour. White wool will be dyed in lighter colours or left natural, while tinted fleeces will be dyed in darker colours. The wool fleeces are mechanically stretched out or opened to a more uniform mass before blending together to provide the most suitable mix of wool for carpet weaving. They then enter a 6-stage washing process using the latest state-of-the-art scouring plant to remove dirt, grease and other impurities. This process is enhanced by the abundance of clean water from the crystal clear streams of Dartmoor. All wastewater is recycled in our own water treatment plant, which can handle up to 3 million litres per week. Each drop of water may be recycled up to 42 times. All the lanolin in the wool is collected and sent to be used in cosmetics, and the remaining sludge is converted into biofuel used to heat the plant. As the recycling process keeps the water at a constant temperature, it helps reduce fuel usage by not having to reheat it for further applications. After washing, the wool is dried and any dust extracted before being blown into large storage bins where it is allowed to relax in order to regain its original structure. It is then lightly lubricated and baled. But even after being subjected to 8 tons of pressure, the natural resilience of the wool is easily observed. It is then left to condition before the next process, carding. This precisely monitored operation uses a series of progressively finer spiked rollers to comb out the wool fibres into a fine, uniform web. Carried along an array of narrow conveyor belts, the layer of wool is divided into narrow strips or slubbings. It is these strips which are rolled into fragile strands before being loaded onto the spinning frame. The fragile slubbings are then spun at more than 5,000 RPM into a single ply yarn. By twisting the strands together as 2 or more ply, additional strength and density is acquired by the yarn, affecting the eventual weight and quality of the finished carpet. The yarn is wound into hanks before a final washing to enhance the dyeing technique. In the hank dyeing process, undyed hanks of yarn are immersed in huge tanks containing colour-fast dyes to produce delicate and subtle shades and colours. The composition of the dye, its temperature and the immersion time of the hanks are closely monitored, and a computerized system ensures precise matching to the colour required. After draining, the hanks are rotated in a hydro extraction unit to remove excess moisture. They then pass through an electronically controlled steam drying process to ensure uniformity of moisture content. Once dried, the hanks are allowed to cool and condition naturally before being wound onto more manageable cones. In addition to hank dyeing, we also operate a stock dyeing process. This is the preferred option for dyeing large quantities of the same color yarn. Predetermined quantities of dye are mixed with water in the laboratory and gently heated to the optimum temperature. Large bales of tightly packed wool are lowered into dye vats, which are then sealed. The Colorfast dye is then introduced under pressure, which is taken up by the wool to give a uniform color throughout. The whole operation is monitored using a computerized system to ensure precise color matching. The dyed wool is then opened and dried using the very latest radio frequency dryer before blending with other batches to ensure uniformity of color. It is then lightly conditioned before moving on to carding, spinning and twisting. The more advanced twisting machines are capable of taking 3 ends of 2-ply yarn and cable it together to make our renowned 6-ply Cable-Tec yarn used in the production of all our Simply Natural ranges. Berber blending is an important function vital to the supply of yarn for our woven and tufted moorland ranges. Flecked Berber yarns were originally developed by the nomadic tribes of the Sahara. Patterned Berber carpets now represent about 1/3 of our domestic carpet sales. A predetermined weight of different colored wools is blended together before carding to produce the Berber effect. Finally, the cones of yarn are packaged for dispatch to the weaving looms at Axminster or for onward transmission to the tufting plant in Ireland. Several thousand kilos of yarn make this journey every working day.